and welcome to the Rob Todd News Network. Tonight we've got a lot to cover. We've got everything from shootings to warrants to the fire department in disrepair. Stay tuned for more. Starting off tonight, private security breach. We've received public records that Fillington Sir Rectum Hole, a co-owner within the local security organization, has an active warrant out for his arrest for evading law enforcement. Records also show Sir Rectum Hole has a suspended driver's license. We reached out to the company, they were unavailable for comment. Next up tonight, we have a SWAT standoff leaving one injured. Here's Chief Sonny Cardinelli with the details. Welcome back. I'm here with Police Chief Sonny Tortellini to talk about the hostage situation that occurred on Elm Street. Sonny, what do you have to say about the situation?
Well, on today's date of February 20th, my officers got a call reported a hostage situation off of Elm Street. We responded with the Park District Police. When we arrived on scene, we saw a young man that worked for Amazon that was shot. A tactical medic from the fire department was, able to revive him and get him good to go. Myself and the deputy chief, Honcho of the Park District Police, we were able to pull the victim all the way to our trucks where he was treated. So we had a good team effort there.
Amazing. Thank you very much, sir. And I also heard about a situation of murder at Autotone today. I was wondering if you could touch on that subject slightly for me.
Yeah, today officers of the Metro Police responded to Autotone for a shooting. After a thorough investigation, two white males were to approach a black male who identified as Jose Pablo Hernandez del Monterrey Diaz, who was at his car. They began harassing the male. Jose proceeded to exit the vehicle because he was in fear of his life, where he actually pulled out a knife, tried to defend himself, and he was shot by a white male who was identified as John Manor. We booked John in the Metro Jail for manslaughter in the first degree. We would just like to give our thoughts and prayers to the family of Jose, and I just want to thank all the officers who worked on that manslaughter investigation.
Amazing. Thank you. Once again, that has been Police Chief Sonny Cardinelli. We really appreciate your time, sir. May you have a wonderful night.
You too, Rob. Thank you for everything. Goodbye.
Next up, fire department in disrepair, unable to serve you? We interviewed a concerned citizen and multiple fire department officials. These are their stories. We now turn to Rob Todd, live in the field earlier today. This is Rob Todd live in the field. I'm here at Starbucks with local concerned civilian Evelyn. Evelyn, what are your concerns regarding the fire department?
They are underfunded. They don't do their job correctly and they got poor management. I tell you, I call that damn fire department every day and they barely show up. And when they show up, it's like one of them. Shouldn't the whole damn fire department be showing up? I want a firefighter truck filled with fucking firefighters. That's how it should be. And you know what? I've dealt with their EMSers a few times, and the one I dealt with was disrespectful, rude, negligent, and just genuinely unprofessional. These guys need better funding to discipline their people better and make it for a safe community. I don't like our fire department. If I had to call them in an emergency, I should feel safe to call them. Not like I'm gonna deal with some imbeciles.
Thank you very much, Evelyn. Do you feel safe being a member of this community?
You know what? There are some days where I wonder if it's worth moving. This city has gone to crap. Honestly, you know what? There's not even a lot of fire department people hired. There's not enough. Like, what is this? And the ones that they do have, they're very poorly trained. What if there was an emergency? I don't trust those guys to save my life. I'll be honest with you.
Thank you very much for your time, ma'am. You have a wonderful day.
You're very welcome.
This has been Rob Todd, live in the field, providing your news. Welcome back to the studio. I'm your host, Rob Todd. As part of our continuing coverage on the fire department, we've interviewed a local union member representative of the department. This is what he had to say. Welcome back to the Rob Todd News Network. My name is Rob Todd, and I'm here with David Henderson with the IAFF Local 4320. He's here to touch on the possible lack of management and misuse of funding within the local fire department. I'm going to turn it over to you, David.
Uh, Good afternoon, folks. As he said, my name is David. I'm with the fire department, and currently we've noticed within our members and our firefighters that apparently our chief recently got approval for a new chief apparatus. While we currently still have no frontline apparatus to respond to any fire calls or major incidents where we need a larger piece of apparatus, he's simply just disregarding public safety just for his own creature comforts of driving a new Dodge Ram. And like dogs are now apparently allowed at work or something because it's just sitting in the passenger seat. And it appears that he's using one of the old helmets that must have been stolen from the department to just put on the dog. Like that's completely unacceptable. Like, can you believe that? Like, come on now. I'll turn this back to you, Mr. Todd. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for your time, David. I have one follow-up question, if you don't mind me asking.
Go for it.
What's your opinion on the recent ISO rating of an 8 Bravo? That would imply that the fire district within the community is unable to provide an adequate water supply to any structure fire within the area. Do you have any comment on this?
So that's not really a fire department issue. That's more of a city. However, that is very concerning to hear and something that, as you guys, as citizens of the greater Superior metro area, should be concerned about. And you guys should definitely write to the city about those issues. Those don't just affect you guys, that affects our jobs. And quite frankly, we don't know how we're going to get treated out in the field because of it. We just want to be able to provide the best service, but that's something that we can't provide without the city's help from the water department and getting that stuff fixed.
Understandable. I appreciate that, Mr. Henderson. And do you believe that the city can adequately respond to any emergencies that they may need to?
At this time, absolutely not, especially with low staffing from underpaid staff and as well as our just frontline apparatus just not being here. Like, we got approval for these apparatus recently and we have them made. They're not in our shop, they're not anywhere to be seen, and we're just waiting for them still, and it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd.
Amazing. Thank you for your time, sir. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We did reach out to the city for comment regarding the lack of fire hydrants within the community. They were unavailable for comment. Next up, we have District Chief Albert Nations with the Greater Superior Metro Fire Department to discuss his views of the current district. Good evening. Welcome back to the Rob Todd News Network. Continuing our coverage on the Greater Superior Metro Fire Department, we have District Chief Albert Nations. Albert, would you mind going ahead and explain to us some information about the first line apparatus? We've heard lots of discussion on that recently about it being inadequate and out of service. Could you touch on that for us just a little bit?
Yeah, so our fire chief has promised us all these great apparatus, and I haven't seen them personally because they're not in service. And that whole squirt that he supposedly sold, we were using it today because he never told us we couldn't use it. So then he comes in and he's supposed to be on vacation. Comes out of nowhere, gives me a phone call and starts screaming at me for, using a truck to put out fires like it should. Which left me a little unsettled. And then we have an engine that's out of service that's supposedly getting sold, and we're not supposed to use that either. So now we're just running around with brand new chief cars and flipping ambulances. What's a boo-boo box going to do on a fire scene? You know, he sells these trucks and then he gets his brand new shiny Ram. That doesn't do any good for the people of the Superior area. How are we supposed to keep their homes safe when we don't have fire trucks to put out fires?
Wow, that's a lot of amazing information. Thank you, Mr. Chief Nations. I was just wondering, could you also touch? Recently, the fire department had an ISO rating, and they got an 8B on it. And I was wondering if you could touch on some of that. Why the rating might be so? I mean, it's a high number, but it's a really low rating for a department like this. Shouldn't it be in the class like ISO 2 or 3?
Yeah, the average department rating in Minnesota as a state is around a ISO 4 to 5. For a smaller city, and then it's going to be 2 to 3 for your bigger city departments in the state of Minnesota. Due to the lack of fire hydrants in the area, that brings your rating heavily down. Because ISO is based off of many calculations, training hours, which doesn't happen here because our chief has no training manual. I've asked multiple times for documentation or overview of what we are supposed to do on scenes. We have zero documentation. How are we supposed to do our job when we don't know what to do? Um, we have confused firefighters that are not even trained to any standards, really. And you might be getting the homeless man Jimmy off the street because we tend to hire anyone that breathes or has a pulse. Uh, Better yet, the fire chief gets a brand new truck and then he doesn't even show up to use it. Uh, you know, we have zero fire suppression apparatus that we're supposed to use. The only reason our rating is even where it's at is because we were using rigs that weren't even in service. I'm pretty sure that you did your rating today, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I do believe the ISO came by today and did their rating, and I'm not the ISO guy. I'm just a news guy, so I don't know who rated them, and I don't know anything about that system. This just the information gets passed down to me.
Yeah, so like I said before, we don't have any hydrants in the greater Superior metro area that I've seen. How are we supposed to fill our fire trucks if we don't have a water supply that's readily available? Let's talk about, okay, we got a fire up on the mountain. How are we supposed to get water up there? We can't run a hose all the way from the river. I mean, maybe in the metro area we can run a hose from the river, but we're going to have to draft. And oh, wait, the fire department doesn't have any tankers. So how are we supposed to fight fire if we don't have water? You know, our tanks only have, 750 to 1,000 gallons of water, and that's even if we have a truck. But oh wait, we're not supposed to use those trucks. I can't stress this enough. We have trucks that we can't use because our fire chief said so, and if we do so, we get yelled at. So I don't even know what to say anymore, Rod. Like, I might have to go talk to the Minnesota Fire Chiefs Board and see if we can get some resources from some other departments and maybe form a new department or something. It's funny how they take over the Forest Service, ran by my fellow lieutenant, and now we can't even have fire rigs. We're just an EMS service at this point. They should call us Greater Superior Metro Ambulance.
All right. Thank you for that one, sir. Do you have anything else you would like to touch on, or any follow-up questions?
As a citizen of the Greater Superior Metro area, what do you think we should do about this? Because we're open to suggestions, because clearly we have no management that knows anything about fire. And for Pete's sake, the guy can't even pass his damn EMT.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. If you have any suggestions, please go ahead and write to the Greater Superior Metro Fire Department. I have one last follow-up question before I let you go. Do you, as a firefighter within the district, believe that us as a community is safe?
If I'm being quite frankly honest, if I am the only person serving our damn community half the time, no, you're not safe in the Greater Superior Metro area. And there needs to be some sort of change, or else the citizens of Superior are quite fucked. If I'm being completely honest, you only have EMS services, and good luck getting someone that actually knows anything about medicine. So, if you're getting shot at, you got shot, you tripped and fell, you got sprayed with bug spray in the face, you got gasoline in your face, good luck. No one's gonna know how to help you.
Alright, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was District Chief Albert Nationinge with the Greater Metro Superior Lake Fire Department. Thank you for your time, sir. Next up tonight for you, we have some footage from a vehicle theft earlier today that resulted in the suspect being shot on scene, who unfortunately passed away. Here is the footage. As you can see, it appears that the suspect was evading police when they drove into a tree. They were then decentralized and put out of their misery by the local police department. Amazing work, gentlemen. Lastly tonight, we have footage from a scene earlier today where a pink Ford Expedition lost control and smashed into a guardrail. We reached out for comment, however we did not get a response from the investigation of the accident. As you can see, the Greater Lake Metro Unsuperior Fire Department District responded. They were able to successfully extricate and transport the patient. Thank you for tuning in to the Rob Todd News Network. We really appreciate your time and appreciate all you do for us in the community. If you have any stories for us or have any questions for us, feel free to reach out. Have a wonderful night.
Do you feel the